Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert. I'm here bringing you another Tuesday tea time with Chala today. And today's tea time is a little bit risky because in the condo, they are doing construction of maintenance of some sort, and there is no water. So we have had no water from 9 till it's going to go for another hour, you guys. And I am trying not to drink. So I'm kind of stressed out about not drinking. So I'm going to sip it very lightly. And I'm waiting for another hour, you guys. So this is a little bit too much information for you, but yeah, not fun. In fact, yesterday I presented in Dubai. Today I was presenting in Texas, and I've been here the whole time in Toronto. So it's been a pretty wild week so far. So I'm here to tell you about 6 super niches that, if you focus on in 2022, are going to be exploding. And if you're already on the ride, you already know that it's doing really well. And the way that I teach my clients on how to reinvent their messaging, how to reinvent their marketing, is just super niche by picking one specific industry and one problem you solve in that industry. And in these cases, some of these are industries themselves and some of these are actual problems. So you can super niche in either or both, and just look at how it is. What is it that you offer as a product or service that could help solve these problems and these opportunities? So, what was the last year like? Well, it was having a decade and a year, if you remember. Wait, I haven't taken a sip yet. The decade and a year was that everything changed in 1 year that should have changed in a decade. So that's how crazy it's been. I'm going to have to put this tea down, you guys. It's like too heavy, too hot. And I'm trying not to drink. So we're good. After the decade and the year, there were so many opportunities that came up. I mean, lots of opportunities were lost in during the pandemic, but a lot of opportunities came up. And here are 6 ways that you can make sure to focus on in the new year so that you can get a piece of the pie. So the first super niche that's exploding is cannabis. So a company called Investopedia says that globally the industry went from 13.4 billion in 1 year in 2020 to 33.6 billion and they're expecting it to go to 33.6 billion in 5 years, so in 2025. And so some of the things that you probably have to look out for is that there's intense competition, and there's legislation and continually changing legislation around this in different parts of the world. So globally, it's a huge opportunity and somewhere that you really may want to focus on. The second super niche that is being talked about is online investment apps. So I got into this recently in the last year, and I can't say that I'm a whiz at this, but I have an app called, in Canada, it's called Wealth Simple. In the US, there's apps like Robinhood, Webull, Stash. So these are all, they take away the fee of investing with a professional, and you pretty much do it yourself. So it's much lower fees if there are any. And then there's such a huge opportunity because it gives you the power, and it gives you transparency, and it's in the moment, giving you updates and giving you alerts. Now imagine that this new technology, this new industry, is only 0.02% of a $20 trillion investment market. And what I know about the pandemic is that it caused self-service on demand to go through the roof. So online investing is one of those self-serve on demand where you'll be able to continue to do that. You'll be able to do that if you have these apps and if you master these apps. So there's still a huge opportunity. That's the whole point, is that the $20 trillion investment market is so huge that only like not even 0.5% is being represented by the existing technology out there. So if that's an area that you can play in, sub-segment that you could serve, there's potential there for growth. Number 3, super niche that is going gangbusters, and I can speak to this myself because I am in this super niche, is marketing. And there's a Forbes article that says that 2021 was a record year for marketing spend, and 2022 is expected to grow more. When people's lives changed and they were either stuck at home or, stuck behind their home office, and because they were getting government funding, their spend went through the roof. And so marketing came into play, either from people who lost their revenue, like I did when I lost all my funnels. I had to figure out new ways of marketing, or to either to pivot, they needed marketing, or they needed marketing so that they could get more eyeballs in now what was like a more increasingly saturated messaging arena environment. So the biggest growers of the marketing arena that I'm sure you're not surprised about are digital, social, AI, and all of that grew statistically in every major category of service and product that you could think of. So that's how marketing is getting bigger. If you're in that space, look at some of how technology can help you and enhance what you're already doing. If you're in the space of the products and services, look at how you can be getting more of your share of the pie by using marketing more and more effectively and spending more on it. So the fourth super niche that's going to go gangbusters is, this is a pain, and it's called the Great Resignation. So from speaking to people all around the world, I'm understanding, and being in Canada myself, the Great Resignation is kind of limited to the US. I'm understanding this, and I don't have any, numbers or statistics or data about this. But basically, what I'm seeing in the US market, and this, my viewers are in the US market, and my clients and my prospects are in the US market. But if whatever you do can be geared towards and super niche towards the Great Resignation, anything you can do around retention, engagement, loyalty, onboarding, staffing, background checks. I have at least 3 clients in those categories that I just named, and we are positioning our messaging to the Great Resignation. We're positioning our expertise to the Great Resignation. We're pointing to that pain as the biggest problem, and then creating solutions in our marketing, in our outreach, to be able to super niche in that problem. So that's a really good one for as long as it exists, and right now it's still there. In some industries, it's more prevalent. So I encourage you to look at where you can super niche to the target of the Great Resignation, and super niche your expertise around what you can do to solve that problem. Okay, so super niche number 5. Okay, now I'm going to try, at the great risk of having to use a bathroom while the water's out in the condo and burning myself again. I tell you, you take for granted what comes out of the tap, and there's so many places in the world that you shouldn't. And who knew that Toronto was one of them today? All right, so the 5th super niche to concentrate in that's going to go gangbusters in 2022 is entertainment. Well, you knew this one, right? Gosh, how many hours did you used to stream? I'm thinking about myself. I never have streamed as much as I have since, the pandemic, obviously. The entertainment industry has grown so much that the revenue of the entertainment industry is outpacing the economy. And it's a $2 trillion economy. It's a $2 trillion industry, growing at 7% this year, and they're expecting another 7% next year. And of course, it includes, the streaming, videos, movies, TV, cloud gaming, VR, anything and everything that you can think of that is in the realm of entertainment. If you can offer a product or service to super niche into or position as entertainment, you stand to gain a lot from a huge industry that's growing fast. And the last super niche that I want to talk about that's growing and exploding in 2022 is, not surprisingly, local sourcing. The shortages overseas made us see that how we were dependent, how much we were dependent on overseas. And there are, movements to local sourcing, especially in the US. This made in US is now becoming a desirable thing. Intel opened a new chip facility in Ohio. How smart is that? And what's expected is that Mexico, like the near neighbors, Mexico and Canada, will also play a role. But basically, anything you can position as local sourcing and point to the pain that's caused by the lack of local sourcing will be a very powerful message and a powerful positioning in 2022. So that's it for today, you guys. Those were the 6 super niches that you can absolutely bank on and you can use in your messaging and your marketing and your positioning to get in front of more buyers who are talking about these very issues, these very industries, and they're looking for solutions. So I hope you can be one of them. All right, everyone. Have a good week, and I hope my water situation is resolved by, well, hopefully by 5, but if not, next Tuesday I'll be drinking a lot more tea. Take care, everyone.